Good morning, friends. I can't believe we already made it through 1 week of summer school. That is so awesome. I'm so glad that you have been logging on and learning even in the summertime. That is so awesome. You're going to be so smart and ready for third grade. So what we're looking at right now is a new skill that we usually do with every book, but we're going to really focus on it today in our book today called A Pet That Fits, which is perfect because I just got a new pet. I got a puppy. You might have seen her picture. So we're going to find out what kind of pet that fits these girls, or maybe just one of the girls. We have to find out. So on this chart it says, I can describe the beginning, middle, and end of a story. So we do this with our sequence of events where we say first, next, then last. This is similar to that, where we talk about the beginning, which is the B, the middle of the story, and then what happens at the end. So in red here it says, good readers pay attention to the different parts of the story to better their comprehension. Comprehension means that you understand the book. So just like when we were asking questions last week in our books, we can still do that, and then we could tell the story at the end of the book about the beginning, middle, and end. So for the beginning, it's good to focus on who are the characters. We can look, it's probably some girls here. We don't know their names yet. What is the setting? Maybe it's at some type of farm. We'll have to see. The middle of the story, it says what happens to the characters. So maybe there's a problem. There's my bad drawing of somebody like, oh no. Maybe there's a problem that happens in this story. And at the end of the book, it says, how are the characters different than they were at the beginning of the story? So that's called a solution. Maybe something from the problem, they were able to fix it. That's called a solution, how it was solved. So we're going to find out in this book how we can retell the story by telling the beginning, the middle, and the end, and what happens to them. Okay, it's called A Pet That Fits by Pauline Cartwright, illustrated by Richard Hoyt. An illustrator, if you remember, draws the pictures. So that's Richard Hoyt, he drew these pictures. And Pauline Cartwright, she's the author, so that means she wrote the words. She wrote the words, she wrote the book, and somebody was able to help her with the pictures. So we're gonna find out, and even though we're not directly focusing on asking questions, I'm still going to do that when I may be confused or I want to know something. So I could say a pet that fits. I could say, let's see. I can kind of think, like, I wonder if a pet that fits is going to be a horse. I know for me, I live in an apartment, I could never get a horse here. So that wouldn't be the perfect pet for me. So we'll have to see if it is for her. So I can ask, what pet is going to fit for her life? Let's see. Ella spent her vacation on the farm where her cousin Grace lived. Grace had a pony. Oh, that makes more sense now. Her cousin has a pony called Toffee. He was called Toffee because his hair was the color of toffee candy. His floppy ears twitched when he ate apples from Ella's hand. Toffee was big. He weighed much more than Ella. Most horses weigh about 2,000 pounds. That's a lot. So they definitely can't come in an apartment or a house. So you have to have a special place for horses or ponies to live. Oh, and we found out what the setting of the story was. Do you remember where they were for right now? They're on a farm, and I can even add more detail. Whose farm was it? It was Grace's farm, and Ella was there on vacation visiting her cousin, Grace. Every day, Grace and Ella brushed Toffee's coat together. They took extra care of his long, straight tail. They fed him special food like oats and beets. He drooled when he smelled the food. Oh, my puppy sometimes drools too when she smells food. When Ella came home, she missed Toffee very much. "Can I have a pony?" Ella asked her parents. What do you think they're going to say? Let's see. "We can't keep a pony in our apartment," Dad said. "A pony needs lots of space." Oh, so I already kind of made that prediction or that connection. I also live in an apartment and I can't have a pony in here, just like them. "A pony has to run every day and it needs fresh air and sunshine," said Mom. Ella was sad that she couldn't have a pony. So even though she wanted a pony so bad, it just wasn't going to work out. Not yet. Maybe when she grows up and she maybe moves to a farm. At breakfast, Ella said, "If we moved to the country, I could have a pony." "How would I get to work on time?" Mom asked. "How about finding a pet that will fit in our apartment?" Dad asked. Ella knew her parents were right. She was excited about choosing a pet. Ooh, so now we can make a prediction, or I wonder what kind of pet she might pick that would fit in their apartment. It's probably not going to be a farm animal because she doesn't live on a farm. So maybe it could be a cat, a dog, a fish. We'll have to see. The next Saturday morning, Ella asked, "Can we go to the pet store today?" "Of course we can," said Mom and Dad. And we know some of our characters. Just like in our beginning, who are the characters? We have the mom and dad. They don't say their names, they're just Mom and Dad. We have Ella, and then we had Grace in the beginning, but she's not a main character. It's mostly about Ella finding a pet. That afternoon, they took the bus to the biggest pet store in town. "What cute puppies," said Ella. "If we got a puppy, we could buy dog toys and collars too." "Our apartment is too small for a dog," said Mom. Oh, so they can't have a dog. A dog maybe grows up too big for their apartment. There were 100 different kinds of pets. Ella stood and looked at kittens, frogs, turtles, birds, goldfish, rabbits, and even mice with curly tails. So she has a lot of different options. She might be able to find a pet that's perfect for where she lives. There were so many animals in a row that Ella didn't know which pet to choose. She needed a small pet, but which animal would be best? It was hard to decide. So right now, in the middle of the story, she's kind of having a little bit of a problem. She keeps wanting different pets like a horse and a dog, and those don't work. So she's having a hard time deciding what kind of pet is right for her. So hopefully at the end of the book, she'll be able to find one, and that will be her solution. The birds were all chirping and squawking. Then Ella heard a song. Which bird was singing? Ooh, sounds like she's interested in the bird. Ella found a bright yellow canary. He started to sing his song again, and Ella thought he was singing just for her. It was the most beautiful sound she had ever heard. Finally, Ella knew which pet she wanted. So which pet is she going to choose? I think it's right here, the yellow canary. Sometimes when you meet the right pet, you just know it's meant for you. Ella carried the canary home in a new cage. The other children on the bus smiled at Ella's bird. Ella was very happy with her new pet. "I'm going to call him Sunny because he's yellow like the sun," said Ella. So why did she pick the name Sunny? Because he was yellow. That's a cute name. At home, Dad hung Sunny's cage up in the living room. Sunny sang loudly. "Listen to him sing," said Mom. "I think Sunny will fit in just fine," said Ella. So then even on this page here, it has us retell the story first, next, and last. So let's use our chart here and determine what the beginning, middle, and end of the story was. So the beginning, who are the characters and what is the setting? So the characters are Ella, Mom, dad, and we did have Grace in the beginning to introduce her pony. And the setting is mostly at whose house? Ella's house with her mom and dad. And they went somewhere to look for their pet at the pet store. In the middle of the book, what happens to the characters? What is the problem that Ella had? We kind of talked about it during the book. Yes, she could not find the perfect pet for her. She wanted a pony, she wanted a dog, so it took her a little bit to find the perfect pet. But at the end of the book, the E, how are the characters different than they were at the beginning of the story? What was the solution? So Ella was kind of thinking and worried about finding the perfect pet, and at the end, she did find the perfect pet, and it was a yellow canary, which is a type of bird, and she named it Sunny. So that is how we can go through and remember the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. And it really helped me when I was asking questions or talking about the book as I was reading it, instead of trying to hurry up and just finish the book. Because then when I was done, I remembered the problem and how it was solved, and I remembered the different characters and where they were during the story. So it's really important to keep asking questions and just talking about the book. You can talk about it out loud to yourself. You can talk about it with a friend or a parent or a grandma or grandpa, aunt or uncle, sister or brother, and that will help you remember the book.